All right, so Kim, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. I'm super excited to be doing this call with you. I wanted to just do a little interview with you and kind of just share some of your experience in working with me and going through the Dynasty coaching program and talk a little bit about where you were before the program and what you learned from the program, the results you got, and a little bit about where we see you in the future, right? So. For all those that don't know Kim, Kim is a badass. All right. I chose to do this interview with you because honestly, out of everybody that's gone through my coaching program, I mean, you're one of the people that really just were extremely disciplined. You were hungry. You showed up every single day. You applied what we taught, and you ended up surpassing most of the barbers around you, if not every barber around you. I mean, in your case, you started off fresh, right? You started off new in barbering with me, but you were able to grow at a speed that was like phenomenal. Got to the first chair in the shop, booming all day, every day. Packed out schedule, charging more than what most barbers takes them their whole life to charge. Some of them don't even ever get to that point, right?
Yeah.
And obviously the I know the coaching program helped you, but without someone that has a discipline like you have, none of it would have been possible, right? So I commend you for that. And I'm not going to
Thank
talk too
you.
much yet about what you're doing now, but yeah, maybe I will. You know what? You came in, you blew up, you got busy, you moved to a completely other city, right? And
Mhm.
rebuilt from the ground up and fast duplicated it, reached out to me. We're like, man, I want to open my own studio. We talked about that. I know, like, we reviewed the lease and stuff together, and it was dope seeing you just being able to not have fear and have, you know, the knowledge and the confidence in yourself to go to a completely new city, rebuild, completely crush it, build a clientele packed out. And I know you're working on some new projects now, which are super huge. I love to see that barbers that don't just stay stuck where they're at. Um, so anyway, so let's kind of jump straight into this conversation, right? Um, tell me. Where were you before you started? I know you started fresh, but tell me a little bit about before you started working with us. Where were you then?
Before I even got to Dynasty, I was still in barber school. I was working at a salon in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And I wasn't even cutting hair. I was their receptionist slash manager because they had some issues at some point or whatever. But yeah, I was behind the desk and I remember seeing this one girl that was cutting hair and she was only cutting like male, I mean, just male because it was like a salon. So it was mostly like females and well, women. It was mostly women in there
Okay.
cutting hair. But just doing like single processes, double processes, whatever. But she was the only one actually catering to men. And I
Okay.
thought it was so cool. I'm like, this is kind of dope. Like it was like fun to watch, you know?
Yeah.
But still I didn't have any interest in it. It was mostly like I gotten to the point where I needed to figure out what I wanted to do because half of everybody I knew had a niche. And I'm like, I can't, like, I'm in my early 20s. I'm like, I haven't figured out what it is that I wanted to do yet. So barbering came to mind. Um, and it was a crazy process because I didn't really, it was one of those prayer moments. And I don't know, can we get into that
Oh,
or?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Of
okay.
course.
So
I'm all
it
about the
was one
prayer
of those,
moments.
it definitely was one of those things where I was praying about it. I wanted to
Okay.
figure out what it is that I wanted to do. And I heard barbering, which was weird because although I had seen it, it was something I didn't really have interest on doing.
Okay.
And I decided to go to school. Well, I had a barber at the time, and I told him, what is it that I should do? And you know, Randy.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah, of
know? Like,
course.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, with the
He,
clothing line, Achilles.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He
of
was cutting
course.
my hair at the time, and I'm like, yo, what should I do? And he was like, you probably should go to barber school because you don't know nothing about barbering.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Good
Yeah,
guidance.
right. So I went to Sheridan, did the whole process and everything. And they were like, okay, like the whole approval thing, you're approved, let's get you started. And like, I'm in bed one time, bro, and literally I get this feeling that like you need to go to the school. I'm like,
Okay.
the hell? And I'm like,
That
okay.
little voice in your head, that little voice.
Yeah, that little, you know what I'm saying?
But you know they're not just thoughts. You know they're
Right,
coming from
because
somewhere.
you're not thinking about it. You're not
Yes,
in the
yes,
moment of it,
absolutely.
right? So I'm
Absolutely.
like, these things, and I'm like, I need something to start right away. I don't have time to waste. Like I was on crunch time, so I got disappointed because when I heard barbering, I thought it was from God. I didn't think it was from me. So
Okay.
I'm like, okay, so you're messing with me. This is, you know, BS.
Yeah.
And then I started crying in front of her, emotional as hell.
Okay.
So she goes, okay, don't panic. Look, I'll write the grant out regardless, but if there's nothing left in there, then there's nothing we can do. Just come back next semester.
Okay.
So I take the piece of paper and I go to the registration desk, and they're like, um, I give the lady the slip, and she's like, the same amount of money that you're asking is the same amount of money left in the bank
Mm,
for me to actually start school.
okay.
And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, literally
It's,
like from change,
wow.
everything that you're asking right now from that the lady that wrote the slip, this is the exact amount that's left in the bank. And that shocked me because I really thought that like I could have made up this voice in my head, but then
But right there
ultimately,
was that confirmation that like, okay,
yeah, like
dots are
no, this wasn't
connecting.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
this wasn't you. Like this was
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely.
And from then on, I was like, all right, let me just take barbering seriously.
Okay.
And that's been my anchor to my whole entire journey. Maybe that's why everything has happened so fast. But that has been my focus. That has been my, like, okay, this is just
Clearly,
bigger than me.
clearly, clearly you have a purpose, right? God have a purpose for you. And
Mhm.
you're actually answering that calling, right? He called you and you answer because a lot I do believe a lot of people get the calling, but they don't answer, right?
Yeah.
Many are called, but few actually choose, right? To follow
Mhm.
that voice. And it's funny you mentioned that story because I remember when we first started working together, one of the things that you said to me, I didn't know all that story at the beginning. I know we had this conversation later, but you were like, man, I don't know, like something about the way you speak and like you
Mhm.
sound very spiritual and like like it felt like it was right when we
Yeah.
started talking, and then you decided to start working with us. Well, I mean, beautiful story. I love that. I love to see where you've gotten to now. So if you could just tell us a little bit about now, like now that you've been a barber for a while now. How long have you been a barber for? Actually?
8 years now.
8 years. Nice. So in 8 years, tell us a little bit about where your business is now, right? Like how much do you charge for haircuts? How booked out are you? I know you're moving on to some other projects now, so I don't know if you've eased back on cutting hair. If you
Mhm.
have, tell me where you were at in your prime, right?
Mhm.
Average, what you were getting for haircuts and making and booked out. Let me know what that looks like.
If I can remember correctly, in my prime, when I started charging $75 per haircut and 85 per beard and haircut, I was maybe cutting about 25 to 30 people a week.
Okay, nice.
I don't know how much that equates to, but like eight.
Let's do the math. So that's you were doing an average of, what would you say your average with tip was?
Oh,
Probably 90, $100.
yeah, it would
More.
average to
A
$100
hundred dollars. So
at least.
hundred
Yeah.
dollars a haircut, right? one hundred
Yeah.
times, let's say 25, right? On the lower end, right?
Hmm.
It's $2,500 a week.
Hmm.
$10,000 a month. That's
Mhm.
great money. Hey, let me tell you, and I love your story because so many barbers they come into the game, and even like OG barbers are like, oh, you can't charge that much. You gotta, think about the people and all this stuff. And like, I get that to a sense, but at the same time, like you came in the game, you were exposed to greatness from the beginning, right? Like
That's the thing.
you saw how much I was charging, how much I
That's the
was
thing.
making, and
Yeah.
and cause with you when we worked together and I was, doing the coaching with you and everything, like that was like I was grinding, feel to be getting, $100 a haircut, 25 haircuts a week is it so to some barbers are like, oh, I do that in a day. I'm like, I would never want to do that in a
I
day.
would never want to do
Never.
that. Like I would never want to do that.
I used to do that because I started doing the $10 haircut things. Okay, what specific like marketing techniques or business approach did you learn when working with me that you feel were some of the greatest assets to leveling up and taking your business to the next level?
I think the knowledge that was passed on to me a lot was because social media was booming around the time where you were coaching me. And there it was just like specific and like inputs that you would give me on like one of them that I followed through and that worked so well was when you go on Instagram and then you would put your location
Uh-huh.
and through the location finding people around you and then like going under their comments and like writing
Interacting with
yeah
them.
right like interacting with them.
Guerrilla
I
marketing
took
outbound.
Listen, full advantage. Soon as I got to
Yes.
Detroit, like I was like literally using that whole layout and I got more comfortable with promoting on Instagram and doing videos and posting them. All of that honestly gave me so much traction to this day. Like as I'm doing things, if I felt like business would be slow, I just be like, oh, all I have to do is just go on Instagram and post a couple videos, post a
Yes.
couple things on TikTok, and
It-
it'll be
it-
back. Right.
yeah.
So there's no fear in that aspect of losing clients. It just depends on where I am. So a lot of that, honestly, when it comes to marketing from you, like from coaching, was that has kept me till this day that I still use for that.
I love that. I love that. I want to hang on to that for a minute, right? Because one of barbers get into to cutting hair and they're like, man, I've just got to learn how to cut hair and sit in a shop and stay there all day, and
Yeah.
they don't want to. And maybe it's not that they don't want to. They maybe just are not aware of the marketing aspect of things, right? I always say like listen, marketing is everything in business, right? You can have the best product in the world and not know how to market it, and you're not going to be busy. But you can have
Yeah.
a horrible product and know how to market it, and you're going to make a lot of money, right?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
with social media and everything you've learned with social media and even the viral content that I was showing you how to make on the hair clips
Yeah.
and all that and the cover photos, what role has that social media played in your business career?
Probably the most important thing in my business career. Almost every client or every like um reason to for somebody to come and sit in my chair has been because of me promoting myself on social media.
Absolutely.
Um, all of it. It's been like, oh yeah, I found you on TikTok or I found you on Instagram. Or like literally I would see people who would follow me. I'd see their name and then I'd go into my books and see the same exact name. It's
Mhm.
like it has been, I think I got into barbering in such an easier like realm compared to like people who are going door to door or
Yes.
standing at Walmart with cards.
Handing
Like,
out flyers the old school
right,
way.
it is hot
Which
outside.
works. It works. You just got to
Right.
spend an hour handing out 50 cards before you get one or two
Like
versus creating content or sitting behind your chair and just reaching out to
and just
people.
right. Like it's
Yes.
so much easier. And I think I've always kept that mindset. Like you could have been outside
Yeah.
with a card, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
Learning. the skill set to generate clients through social media, which is the most powerful tool we have in this world. Everybody's on
Yeah.
their phone. There's no better place to be. So I
Yep.
love it. Another question I have for you. How
Mhm.
has your confidence evolved behind the chair as time has gone on?
It has improved tremendously from when I was with you till now. I remember one of the conversations we had, it was like, Kim, you need to start interacting with your clients. Like you can't just
Yes.
you can't just not say anything.
Yeah,
And I took that input and I found that that is like literally the fuel to barbering, honestly, is making
absolutely.
connections and communicating with people. And now it's just like there's no fear ever now when there's a new client or a different style of haircut, because ultimately, even when I was with you too, I've cut every type of haircut. Like
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
done everybody. So there's this
Uh-huh.
range where like it didn't matter who sat in my chair when I got up here. It was just
Oh,
like
I
I
love
can
it.
do it, you know? So like all of that, I felt like confidence behind the chair that this is what I do, this is who I am in this moment. So it's like
Yes.
before I start work, um, set the mood, make sure it smells good in there, make sure I have good music that I took from Dynasty. I have music.
Love it.
Make sure the TV is on, I have good music, clean my tools, and then get to work and then do it all the same the next day, really.
I always teach barbers, right, about the importance of being on time with their clients and being respectable and respecting their time. That's something that you were always very good at. Barbers, we tend to think they need us. I'm the
Yeah.
barber. And when you want to scale your business the way you did, the way I have, I mean, that's just not acceptable. It's something you were always very good at. Tell me a little bit about like in a few words, like what do you think helped you stay organized and stay on track, and the effect you think it had on your business?
I think I think that professionalism is the biggest thing, right? And I think obviously through our program, through the you coaching me, professionalism was installed, but to upkeep, I think what I've had to do was realizing that barbering is a gem and it depends on how you use it, right? I think for a lot of people, they use barbering as like it's a hustle. Like I just want to get side money and I just want to
Mhm.
be able to, or I want the freedom where they dress so cool and I just want to be like it's weird. So it's like I think for me it was like no, this is a legit business and if you really do the thing with it, if you go out of your way and treat it like a legit business, you'll get a legit outcome. You were one of the people that I've noticed to do it off bat. Like you didn't treat it as a hustle. You didn't just hire anybody. You were teaching people every Mondays. Like you were really installing things and seeing that. I'm like, I can really make this thing, turn this thing into a thing for me. So to be disciplined, I'll say God for sure, bro. Like having to wake up, meditate, and pray all day, like I felt like that has kept me bounded, and has like really anchored me into what like we got to get this done. I have my why. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
love it.
Like
Now,
I
why?
why? Like I have that and I stuck by that. Like I've envisioned my why. I know what I want. So in that aspect, this is what I have and I plan on turning it to what I need for my why. So that's just always kept me like tunnel vision. I've just always been focused on it and it seems to be working. So I've just got to keep going. That has,
When you were at your peak, what did your schedule look like booked out wise? How far in advance were you booked out?
I never actually closed my books at
Okay.
all. Like they were always just, it's open for the whole entire year. Um,
Okay.
yeah. But at my peak, function wise, I would go in four
Like
days
if
a
I
week,
wanted to
four,
come in
five.
and get a haircut with you, right?
Uh,
Like was I able to just come in same day or no? You were booked out. I had to.
oh,
That's what I'm saying. How far out
no. Oh,
was
that's
were
what
you
you
booked?
mean.
Yeah,
Oh,
how far
no.
out were you booked?
Yeah, no, 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 no. Like for it would be like at least what 3 weeks. I
Mhm.
would you'd find like maybe like an hour block within like 2 to 3 weeks, but like it probably because somebody's canceled. But I have a lot of standings. Like most of my Saturdays and Fridays would be already booked out because I see
Mhm.
these people weekly or bi-weekly. So yeah, about like 2, 3 weeks
2 3
out.
weeks. That
Yeah.
that's so huge because most barbers never get to that point. Most barbers always have to wonder how is my week gonna go? Am I gonna be able to pay my bills, right?
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is like when you apply the coaching program, right? And you actually apply it the way you did and you get packed out. Once you get packed out, what happens is you create high demand, limited availability, right? And you
Yeah.
know, I always preach it, high demand, limited
Yeah.
availability. Too many
Yeah.
barbers out here they see other barbers charging $100, they want to charge $100. Like you haven't built
Yeah.
that up yet. Stop, you're not
Yeah.
there yet, right? And that's a
Yeah.
big mistake I see a trend in the industry, right? I always tell barbers, get your schedule packed out. Once you can't fit no more people in, it's not that you're not charging them more.
Hmm.
Your value has gone up.
Yeah.
You're just worth more because more people want to get in your chair. Just like when
Yeah.
they drop some exclusive kicks, there's a limited amount of them and everyone wants them. When you're
Yeah.
professional, when you're good, when people get on your Instagram and they see you consistent, they see you building a brand, you build a brand for yourself, a name, you're known around your city, you know, that has its value and that brings up your demand and that's how we're able to charge the amounts of money that we're able
Yeah.
to charge. So awesome. How has having building a successful barbering business changed your day-to-day life?
How has it changed my day-to-day life? I know that I would never go back to anything else in the aspect of having the kind of freedom that you get
Uh-huh.
from doing that. Like, because of my professionalism and the way that I've disciplined myself, I know I've built enough um financial, I don't know how would I put that. I've built enough ways where my business runs itself. Like if I decide to leave for a week or two, it's
Mhm.
okay. Um, Everything is getting paid through my business account and everything. So it's been like it's almost like I guess that's the reasons why I'm like, okay, I'm able to move into something else because I'm not going to say mastered. Like you can never really fully master something. I'm not going to just throw that in, but it's just like I've done enough where it's just like, okay, I understand this enough to move on to the next thing. So, it's just been freeing. It's you get a different like level of understanding when it comes to business in that aspect too. It's just like, um, I don't know how to like
So what I mean, kind of like what I'm getting from you, right, is like, the freedom and ability to be your own boss, make your own time.
yeah,
You've been
yeah,
structured and I know you're starting to work on other projects. We'll speak about that in a minute.
yeah,
And I want to elaborate that, right? Being your own boss, right? Like it's amazing, right? Like, hey, I can leave
yeah,
when I want. I don't gotta check in with nobody.
yeah,
On my own boss. I can leave on vacation. It's a beautiful thing, right? But it is
yeah,
also a very dangerous thing.
yeah,
Because so many barbers, they get into barbering because they want to be their own boss, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But you have to realize like you are the boss now. Are you a good one?
yeah,
Are
yeah,
you a good boss to yourself?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
like when barbers choose to work barbering so they could do that and not work a regular 9 to 5, right? But in a regular 9 to 5, you don't have those options, right? You got to show up at 9, leave at 5, and do what you're told. And if you don't, you get fired, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Because you have a boss on top of you supervising you, right? Tracking the numbers, making sure things are done in order for that business to be successful. And
Yeah.
that's something barbers fail to realize. Like,
Mhm.
you really have to boss up as a barber. You got to be your own boss. So if you say you're going to work these hours, like, yeah, you have the ability and the freedom to work your own hours, but you do have to be that boss and say, I am going to work these hours. And when I have to work within those hours, if I've got to get these things done, I have to get them done like I was an employee working for someone else because I am my own employee. I'm my
Yeah.
boss and my employee, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
only by mastering that is that you actually get to those levels that me and you have got to and been able to really, own our time, right? Because
Yeah.
being able to do what you want when you want and being broke, that's whack. Being able to do what you want when you want with money in the bank and how you want it, nicer restaurants, wearing the nice clothes with a big
Yes.
smile on my face, you know, that smile that you got right there. That doesn't come by just, being your own boss and doing whatever you want. So
Yeah.
good shit. You've done great things. I know we've had some conversations, but tell me, what are your plans for the future right now? What are some projects that you're working on for the next maybe 6 to 12 months?
So, for a while I was barbering, I kind of took some time to split my time, actually 7 days, and I started working for well, whom I would consider a mentor who had who has a bunch of my salon suites in Michigan.
Okay.
And I decided to try to learn what that business was. And I got into that as their property manager. They taught me the in to out of the business. And I realized a couple of things, which a lot of salon suite owners, statistically, nearly 80% of them quit within 5 years due to lack of structure and support, which Dynasty is literally what Dynasty works for. And it's crazy how like that comes full circle. I want to help them elevate their business in ways in which they don't really comprehend, but more characteristic wise on, how to be a professional, how to handle a certain kind of person, and to eventually turn into your own CEO. You have a full business, you have something that actually works. So, what I'm essentially building is a brick and mortar that will have like a content room that's going to have a membership program for our elite clients, as well as premium suites in there to kind of have them in with me and the salon suite business, kind of teach them how to do it all and work through their characteristics and etiquette within the business. And then they're off, actually turn into CEOs with it.
I love that, Kim. I love that. I mean, listen, you came in the game, you owned it, you hit your goals, and you didn't stay stuck. You're a visionary, right? You're a leader, you're disciplined, and I think one of the greatest things we could do once we get to those levels, and one thing that I love that you mentioned is like some people they kind of get to a certain level and then they get capped out and they either stay there for a long time, and that's when people lose their drive.
Yeah,
I truly believe we're called for greatness. And I truly believe that we're here to become the best versions of ourselves and then give that to the world and help others become the best version of themselves.
yeah,
And the great thing is you could be greatly rewarded for that, right?
yeah,
There's a quote by Zig Ziglar that says you can have everything you want in this world, in this life, if you just help enough others get what they want, right? Um,
yeah,
and what happens then is it's now like, yeah, the income is cool, but it's more about you have a purpose, a
yeah,
purpose which is to really to help people change their lives, right? And it's
yeah,
once you get to that point, you don't even think about the financial reward. You're more on a higher level of consciousness and awareness that, hey, this is a God thing. Like
yeah,
God got me. I know the
yeah,
more of guys, people that I help rise up and break out of those chains and become the best level of themselves, I will be rewarded. So,
Yeah.
Kim, I know you are absolutely going to crush that. I know you're going to be super successful in that and anything that you do, because you are already a successful person, right? Take apart the finances and the accomplishments. You are now a being that vibrates and produces and functions in a successful manner. So no matter what project you decide that you want to do, you're absolutely going to crush it. So I'm super happy for you. I can't wait to see all that. What advice would you give to someone that they've been thinking about getting a mentor, maybe coaching with me or coaching with another barber, and they're kind of on the edge about it, right? They're maybe a little nervous, maybe financially they don't want to invest, or even just like they're not sure about working with a coach, right? What advice would you give to that person?
Man, you can't do anything by yourself. Like we're human beings. We're all intertwined and connected. It's just nearly impossible. Yeah, there's some things you can get through, but you're gonna get to a point where it's just like you get the knowledge from someone that you know can get you to the next level instead of doing the heavy duty by yourself and the process being even longer. With everybody that I have met in the barbering industry, starting with Esteban, has been like my, it has been my hack.
Hmm.
It's
I
been
love it.
that has been the reason for me going forward. Even my other mentor with my salon suite, it's been my hack. That's what has gotten me forward. So I would highly suggest that invest in yourself in that way. It's so much better to have somebody on your side in that way to help you move forward instead of just pushing and doing it by yourself.
I couldn't have said it better myself. For me, same thing. Having mentors in my life has literally been what has been able to separate me from everyone else and keep me ahead of the game always. And it's like, it's funny how you get to a certain level and then people start, because some people they look at you and maybe they don't do your coaching or they don't work with you. They low key hate on you, but then they're copying you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And then they're
yeah,
like, oh, now I'm doing that. And they feel equal.
yeah.
It's like, little do you know, I got a new
Right.
tour.
You're right. I'm
That was
already right. I'm
old. That was
already next
old
step
wins. I'm
ahead.
on to my new wins now.
Yeah.
And Khaled says, DJ Khaled, he says something that it's like a joke, but it's not. It's deep. It's very deep. He's a funny dude, but a lot of the little funny shit he says, it's very deep. And he
Yeah,
says
no, for
something that
sure.
it's better to know than to learn.
Mm.
Right? And people don't catch that. And like I'll try to tell you, what do you think about that? It's better to know than to learn. What do you mean? No, it's better to learn. It's better to know than to learn because to learn it means you have to go through the failing process of
Yeah,
learning
yeah,
it before you know it. But to know
yeah,
it is for someone else that has learned it to teach it. Now you know it.
yeah. Now you
So,
know.
so that's the concept behind it. And I love that. I love that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. Kim. Thank you so much. Where can people find you? Let the people know. Where can they find you so they could go follow? Y'all need to go follow her. She's a boss. She's a CEO. It don't matter if you're a girl. It don't matter if you're a guy. It don't matter what it is. Where can people find you?
Chimera Verette on all socials, which Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, KIMARAVERRET. Yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm all over.
Awesome. Awesome. Kim, thank you so much. I look forward to continuing to see you grow and shine and give that to the world. Thank you so much for this beautiful conversation. I love you and I will talk to you soon. All right.
Love you, Esto. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye.